All right, we are back, and we're going to talk about, in my opinion, one of the coolest comic book characters of all time, Shazam. Well, this is Billy Batson in Shazam. It's again it's a newly developed story.
Shazam!
That was for Randy Swift right there. You know what? I don't know exactly. I have the laptop here, the supercomputer. We can check this out because Shazam is really an acronym.
Yeah.
Right? And what does it stand for exactly? I know it's the speed of someone, and
it's Solomon, Hercules,
Yes.
Atlas, Zeus, Achilles, and Mercury.
that's pretty damn cool.
And those are all pagan gods, right?
Yeah.
That opposed to the one true God.
But that speaks to something immediately, and we were talking about before, like literacy and whatnot. Like, this is, when you read Wonder Woman, like it or not, you learn a little bit about Greek mythology. When you read Thor, you learn a little bit about Norse mythology.
Okay, let's talk about the book. Who's the writer? Who's the artist?
It's written and drawn by Mike Kunkel. I think excellent job, like very dense illustration. If you can see here, lots of tiny little panels here, a lot to read, which is a big contrast to the decompressed style of storytelling that writers use now. I think writers are getting paid as much money to work half as much, but this takes actually a long time to read, and you get a lot out of it.
It is. And the first few pages are really interesting because they're drawn on what's supposed to look like foolscap paper, in the style of a kid, etc. One of the other things I really like is it's got a secret code, and there's parts of the book that are written in code that the kids have to unlock. And
DC's doing a lot of that in their Super Friends book. They do. I have a daughter, and she's into all of these. I mean, she has to hang out at a comic book store all the time, so she's been forced to kind of enjoy these. But she loves these books, and she loves doing the secret code stuff.
That's right.
And the Super Friends one that they did had all these cutouts, and it was almost disheartening as a huge comic book enthusiast to watch her grab a pair of scissors and cut a page up. But it was meant for that. And that's cool.
And that's what we did as kids,
Yep.
right?
Yeah,
There used
cut
to
out
be,
the coupons.
Write your name on it,
There
whatever.
used to be things to find words. There used to be all kinds of stuff.
I used to, I wanted all the superheroes, right? So there was an Iron Man. I had an Iron Man comic book when I was a kid. I actually cut Iron Man out. There was like a whole picture of him that was this big, and I put him in one of my dinky cars. I was like, Iron Man drive, because I didn't have all the toys, right? So it was like, I got an Iron Man toy. I stuck him inside the...
I did the same thing with my dinky car when I was young.
Yes.
With my Iron Man.
I just want to say, I again censored. Anyway, I again think that this is another good story. Funny, great art.
It makes such good use of the comics medium. There's sometimes when they'll imply motion through panels and quick succession of panels, but there's other times when, this panel, for example, where all the motion is within the same panel. Or, you've got this enormous Shazam breaking out of the page. You've got a wrecking ball here coming
And
off,
all that
bleeding
stuff
off the
comes
edge
from
of
the old
page.
Tarzan books and stuff like that.
But it's really pushing what the medium can do.
Now, one question I have for you, Dale, do you think that the old 40s Shazam and the old 50s Supergirl, do you think those would be good for kids today, or do you think they're just too outdated?
They're pretty dated when you try to read them. Mary Towers and I were actually looking at old Wonder Woman, and it's funny. It's not for kids. First of all,
it's not for kids.
But it's just funny. The dialogue is so dated and.
But on purpose, like, is it kitsch?
The irony is
just ridiculous.
The art form hadn't been developed at that point, and the irony would be lost. And it's not that they were bad fantasy stories, because obviously they've lived till today, and they weren't even necessarily geared towards kids.
Oh, they weren't. They clearly weren't. And through the late 40s and early 50s, when they were, especially the late 40s, when they're selling a lot of copies, it wasn't to kids, it was to adults.
Awesome. Let's go to break. Come back. We'll finish up with